Okay, so we just saw Liam say that he has a cure, but the last time somebody came to Pretty Lake with a cure, it was a trap.
And he does look older than 22, but he worked with Adam's dad, so that can't be a good sign.
Definitely not. Welcome to Inside Between.
Hi, my name's Angelina, also known as ALB.
And I'm Nicole Stamp. And joining us live in the studio tonight, we have three amazing cast members from the show. We have Samantha Monroe, who plays Stacy, Jesse Carreri, who plays Adam, and Jennette Mccurdy, who plays Wiley Day.
So now, if you have questions for Samantha, Jesse, or Jennette, tweet to us right now at Between Series with hashtag Inside Between, because we're about to sit down with the cast.
We sure are. And this week we have a Twitter poll which asks, the situation is getting dire in season 2, so who would you team up with to survive? You should definitely go vote on Twitter at Between Series.
And heads up, our show tonight has spoilers galore for season 2 premiere, so if you haven't watched it yet, what are you waiting for? Go catch up on
citytv.com/between, citytv.com/between, citytv.com/between.
She's just getting into character because she's about to recap the entire season premiere episode in 60 seconds. Are you ready, Nicole?
I was born ready.
On your mark, get set.
Okay, here we go. Mark gets shanked. You can take the boy out of prison, but you can't take the prison. Ugh, this is why you don't run with scissors. Stacy's a witness, but what's a little accidental murder between lovers? Good guy Gord and Five Finger Franny make a delivery. Good guy Gord gets robbed, and Franny channels her preteen angst. She is done playing nice. The first rule of Tiny Tots Fight Club is you do not talk about Tiny Tots Fight Club. Harrison makes deals with his Fight Club money. Chuck's getting suspicious. The guard brings up Puppy, and Chuck shoots him. The guard, not the puppy. Puppy's fine. So much for the quarantine. Ronnie's either been cutting onions, or he's sad about Pat, who is actually standing right behind him. What? This is Renee. Where did she come from? Things start to get a little steamy. Bound chicka wow. Tracy kills the mood. Renee steals the gun and bails. What's she up to? On a happier note, this weird family dynamic is trying to make it work. Wiley is ouch. Is that cramps? Moving on. Adam shaves his head for winter. Looking good. Wiley and Adam get out of Pretty Lake without getting blown up. They meet a nice lady named Sandra who saves our troubled heroes, and bound chicka wow 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 wow. Sandra's dead. Oh crap. Back to Pretty Lake, and this is Liam, who says he has a cure, but does he?
After an extremely intense episode, my head is pounding, and I am so excited because we are about to get into it with the two stars of Between. We have three guests on the show today, and right here on the sofas with me, I have Jesse. I'm so excited that you're here. Jesse Carreri, who plays Adam on the show, and that was such an intense episode for you. How's it going?
Going pretty good, yeah, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, that was a really intense episode, and that was really funny.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that was really funny.
Thanks so much. And also on the sofa, we have Jennette Mccurdy, who plays Wiley Day. Hi, Jennette, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Welcome to Toronto.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So I really want to just dive right into it here. So we finished this episode, and we are in the tunnel, and the two of you are coming back to Pretty Lake, and you meet Liam in the tunnel. That's a new character that we've never seen before. And the second you meet Liam, you're so suspicious of him.
Yeah.
Why
well,
is that?
I mean, what was he doing there in the tunnel to begin with? He had no business being there.
There he is.
Stephen Graham.
Yeah, and then look at him. Very suspicious.
He is very
He's
suspicious.
also very good looking.
I feel like he's got like a real kind of a blue steel kind of like, can you do that?
No, it's actually not coming to me right now.
That's amazing, Stephen Graham. Okay, so you meet him, he's in the tunnel, why is he there? And then he says he works with your dad.
Right, and he has a cure.
And you don't buy it for a second.
I've heard that before, you know?
Exactly, right. Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
you know what I mean?
I do.
And it was a lie, so.
Yeah, I hear ya. All right, so Jennette, for you, you've had such a roller coaster episode.
Yeah.
So Wiley, the baby needs formula. She decides to leave Pretty Lake, but she's worried about spreading the disease rather. And then she
Right.
meets this lovely woman who lies to save her, and then she dies.
Yeah.
And you're heading back to Pretty Lake. Tell me about this roller coaster. Like, how is she feeling at each step in the journey?
I feel like Wiley's a lot more kind of ethically inclined than she was last season. Like before, she didn't even really care that much about taking care of her kid because she was super lost. And I think this season, she's really inspired to take care of this living, breathing child. And I think the idea of knowing that they've hurt this woman who was only trying to help them then really gets her into kind of a moral dilemma. And Adam knows that they just are fighting to survive, so he feels like it's the right decision to keep pushing forward, and Wiley feels like now they have to turn back and warn everybody.
That's amazing. And so when you think about he wants to keep going forward and Wiley doesn't, how do you think she feels about him? Does that change their relationship at all?
I think so, because I think Wiley feels like they're foundationally just coming from such different places, and it's one of those things where you go, if we're so fundamentally different, then how can we get along, you know, with all the little things that come up naturally in life if we disagree about something that's just like a human base level kind of need.
Sure, and it's tragic because just earlier in the episode, the two of you were connecting so well, right? There's that wonderful scene at night in Sandra's house. Yeah. And then, I mean, what do you think she was thinking there?
Well, I think naturally, as women, no, I think like as a girl myself, being in relationships can have a lot of ups and downs, so I can understand where Wiley was coming from, but also she's dealing with a whole different realm of problems and issues that I think, you know, many young people don't necessarily have to face, like the actual life or death situation right in front of her. So I think she doesn't know who to trust or how to trust, or, you know, if she can trust, and that's kind of her main confusion.
Absolutely. Yeah, it must be such a difference for her if you think about that character's evolution, where she goes from, I'm just an ordinary teenager thinking about high school, to all of this, the stuff with the pregnancy that she's thinking about. Do you think that she had a lot of concern about how people felt about her as a teenager who got pregnant?
I think absolutely. I think that was her main reason for not sharing the information about who was the father, because she thought, well, that's just going to present a whole different set of problems if people know who this was, and then he's going to have to face all these kind of judgments. So I think she was trying to do what she thought she had to preserve some level of keeping up appearances.
Sure. And how do you feel like the relationship between Adam and Wiley has evolved over the course of the first season? I mean, when we meet him, how does he feel about her? Like, it's...
Right. I mean, Wiley and Adam, they have a history. Before the show opens in the first season, they've known each other already. And I think there are like a lot of things that, you know, Adam, that made Wiley attractive to Adam. And, you know, she's a rebel, so I think that's one of them. I think she's really funny, you know, and then, I mean, she's beautiful, and, you know, a slew of other things, you know. And even though they exist as friends, there is definitely an underlying, you know, thing happening for the entire first season.
Sure. I mean, as soon as you see the two of you together, I feel like there's this chemistry between you that just builds and builds for the whole season. So it's so nice to see it sort of in the beginning of season 2 now. It's like you've really become this thing, and then right away, this circumstance gets in the way.
I know. It's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole, and, you know, in the upcoming episodes, there's going to be a lot more of just like, it's like being torn.
I think the writers were great about making the relationship dynamic between Adam and Wiley really interesting this season, and kind of exploring as much as they could about the ups and downs that you know that they would potentially face in a situation. There was a lot to play with, and there were some definitely emotional scenes between the two of us, so that was really fun.
Yeah, what was it like shooting those together?
Emotional, like there were some that were so kind of, I don't want to say too much, but there were some that were just there were so many roller coaster scenes between the two of us that it's difficult to then leave that at the door, and to even maybe sometimes try to prompt responses from each other in those really emotional scenes, and then leave those behind and be like, oh, I was just acting, you know, because that can also seem like an excuse or something. So I think there were a lot of conversations that we had to just make sure we were compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. How did you find that experience?
Yeah, like intense is a good word. Yeah, sometimes with acting, like, you know, defense mechanisms can come in, and it's like, you know, do this thing, but you had a different idea in mind, and it's not going to happen, you know, with something simple usually. Like, you know, do you mind like picking that up and putting it down? It's going to happen with something more dramatic. Like, would you mind yelling in that person's face, or like, you know, crying hysterically? Like, that's a little bit more, I feel like, touchy.
Sure.
That area.
Yeah. What do you do to shake that off at the end of the day?
I feel like, I mean, for me, I'm a big journaler, so I try to like sort through my feelings and like what happened throughout the day, what I could have done differently, what I didn't like, what I did like. So yeah, I try to journal it out.
Yeah. How about you?
I don't journal, but I'd consider doing it.
I think about journaling.
Yeah.
It's almost as good.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's really interesting. Yeah, you never really think about it. When you look at actors on camera, you don't really think about the fact that it's your body, it's your, and you're triggering your own emotions by changing your breathing, and when you're crying, you're really crying in the scenes, and it must be exhausting and really put you through kind of a ringer.
Yeah, I mean, there was one scene for me where I had been like going at it from a certain angle, and Rick Boda was our director for the scene, and he said that I was just bringing so much anger into it and just a lot of like frustration, and I was like, oh, why am I bringing so much anger? Oh, because I'm like really angry right now as a person, and I'm bringing that into the scene. So then I tried to just remove the anger and do what I needed to, and then I ended up crying a lot. But then we did the coverage from the opposite side, and then I just couldn't cry because I was suddenly happy. So it's really like manipulating your feelings as as an actor is, I think, just something that's really like tricky territory, and knowing yourself and knowing your limits and knowing, well, I just psychologically was here, so then I got to try and get there. Like it's a fine line, I think.
That's really interesting. How do you prepare before you shoot a scene that's going to be emotional or dramatic?
I used to prepare too much, and I lost that habit, and now I just don't prepare at all.
Really?
A little bit.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. How's that for you as a co-star?
I mean, he always knows his, he always knows his lines.
I learned my
and stuff.
lines. I just meant like, character study and all that sort of thing.
There was one scene that we were doing where I felt so bad afterward because I just did the totally wrong. I don't know, I guess we were always kind of just trying to experiment and play around, and I had tried to like prompt a response out of him by like bringing myself up and bringing like more of a kind of like vicious energy or something into the scene, and then it just completely made a reverse effect, and he was just like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. Like, I'm not playing that game. So it just it backfired, and it made me kind of realize, oh, well, just because this might work for me, it doesn't mean that it's gonna work for your co-star, and it's about them,
It's so tough, that example, because she was trying to do something like within the scene that was totally called for and made sense, but I was already like pissed off that day, and so that's why it became hard for me. Like, I felt like director was trying to arouse a response from me, so was Jennette, and then it just felt like, oh, well, I don't want to like respond. And it's like, if they were looking for anger, that's how I was feeling, but this is like what they were getting.
Is that what you're like when
but
you're angry?
I was the split second, and I know that everybody knew this, and this is why it got everybody frustrated on set. In a split second, I could have just like snapped, interrupted, and just like been a piece of shit, but I didn't want that. I didn't in that moment, and that's why I'm not considered a professional amongst like my peers.
Is that true? That's not true.
Not at all. Not at all.
At times, I'm pretty sure. I have like some cleaning up to do. I'm trying to,
That's not what I've heard at all, just by the way. I mean, this is a really complicated series. You go through really intense emotions for both of you, and you are nailing it. It's a real pleasure to watch. I've really
that's so
enjoyed.
nice.
Yeah, I've watched all of season 1, and I've watched, sorry to say, but some of season 2, and it's great. I have such respect for both of you, and I'm so excited to be talking to you about it.
Thank you, Nicole.
That's so nice.
Yeah, and you have so many fans, as you know. And actually, we have a really great contest right now that we're running for the super fans of the show. And we're going to talk about that right now. So Angelina has actually met with the first super fan contest winner. Her name is Stephanie, and she's going to tell you all about it. Angelina, take it away.
Thanks, Nicole. So, do you want to win a trip to our studio to ask the cast of Between a question in person here with us? Tell us online why you're our biggest super fan, and you could be joining me here next week. Okay, so today I'm here with our first contest super fan winner, Stephanie, who hails from Richmond Hill, Ontario. How are you doing, Stephanie?
I'm good, Angelina. How are you doing?
Really good. So happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So Stephanie has 2 questions. What would you like to ask our cast?
Well, I'd love to know if you could play another character in Between, who would it be?
I'm not on Between, but like I would love to play a character, and I think I'd love to be Gord because he's my favorite character, and we look so much alike. And okay, what was your second question?
My second question would be like, how is the vibe on set for season 2 different than the vibe on set from season 1?
That's a really good question. Okay, awesome. So let's go back to Nicole and our cast for the answers.
Thanks, Angelina, and thanks, Stephanie. Those were really good questions, and you had a chance to meet Stephanie before we started shooting. How was that?
Stephanie's awesome, and she also today brought me ketchup chips and a bunch of different notes from fans, so it was so sweet. She's the best.
Oh, that's so nice. So I loved her questions. Let's get right into them. So how was the vibe different when you were shooting season 1 versus when you were shooting season 2, Jesse?
In the first season, we were all getting to know each other, and by the second season, that was like relationships were already established, and so there was more camaraderie. Thank you. I didn't want to mess that word up because it's about to happen.
I feel like if you say it wrong, it could go in any direction, too.
I know.
Yeah.
Like it could
More
like
chameleons.
Cormacan.
More Cormacans.
David Cormacan.
Amazing. How about you? How did it feel different?
Well, we have 2 new cast members this season who I freaking love. Liam, who's played by Stephen Graham, and Renee, who's played by Mercedes Morris, and I think they were just the absolute coolest additions and such awesome people. Mercedes is always like dancing and listening to Drake music, and Stephen added a certain kind of maturity and professionalism, and I was like, oh, like I want to like run lines with this guy. He's so like just like an upstanding actor, you know? He's
Nice.
great.
Yeah, he's really well trained. He went to Royal Academy, right? Like,
Yeah.
He's classically trained. That's cool. And so, if you were to play a character that wasn't Adam, here's the list of everybody.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and here's Steven, who you're just talking about, and here's Mercedes over here, the 2 new cast members. But so Jesse, if you were going to play a character who was different than Adam, who do you think you'd want to play?
I'd say Wiley.
Why is that?
Just because I don't know, her character has like a lot of roller coaster going on.
Cool. Yeah, there's a lot of emotional depth to. You'd have a baby and everything. It would be totally.
Yeah, and that also like playing a woman.
Playing
That'd be
or
interesting.
like a single parent too.
Single
It's a
parent.
lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
How about you?
I think I would go, I want to say, like, I was going to say Ronnie, but I think I might say Chuck.
Oh.
Because he has a surprising amount of, like, comedy incorporated, and he's just, I guess, I'm blurring the lines between Justin and Chuck, but I think he's got some funny stuff to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you done any impressions of any of your castmates?
I guess if I were to do Justin, I would be like, he's like, guys, come on, we gotta leave Pretty Lake. And he kind of does his little like face. I just love him.
That's great.
Yeah, and I think Stephen would be like, Wiley, we need to leave. This town is not safe. We have to go. Like, he's very compassionate and empathetic and like direct in your eyes.
I would go anywhere with you
Right?
if you asked me. I would just got all emotional.
That's what I'm saying. He does think sometimes when you're in the middle of a scene and you're like, well, how is this person doing this to me? Just like the laser vision, you know?
Yeah, you have that power too. Don't worry. I felt it. I was like, oh, okay, where are we going? I'll leave with you. Let's go. Right now.
Let's leave the show.
That's amazing. And so, have you ever done any impressions of Adam?
Oh yeah. My impression of Adam is Wiley. That's it.
Thanks.
How is it? Do you have an impression? You don't have an impression of Wiley?
I can't do an impression of Wiley.
Yeah. She's hard to.
Yeah, I don't know what quality to imitate. You know what I mean? Like, I could do that. Sometimes she does it.
Oh, totally. Okay, then you do yours.
I just can't do the voice.
Wiley, we gotta go. I'm like heavy on the size, apparently.
That's great. Oh, I really, really like that.
I have to do Harrison.
Oh yeah, go.
I didn't see
Do
his name on the
Harrison.
board.
He's there. He's down here.
I think the mic volume would be not at the right level because he screams in
Okay.
this one
Do you want to do like a
impression.
fake scream, like a
Yeah.
whisper scream?
We're all gonna die anyway. But like, he's really angry and it's really, really good work.
He's
so
dramatic.
good.
Yeah, he is dramatic.
We had a scene with him that he just blew me away. Gosh.
Yeah, there's a really strong cast. I feel like across the board, I like all of the characters, even the ones that do complex things, and I really like all the actors. I'm interested in all of them, and I should say all of you because you're up there too.
I feel like with this season, you do get to know a lot more of like the character's backstory, and everybody has, I guess, a lot more to do to where you understand kind of why they behave the way that they do.
Yeah.
I really like that a lot.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And then for you, I mean, this is a more superficial question, but you have a new look this season.
Yeah.
You just,
Yeah.
what happened with your haircut?
I cut my hair.
And did you do it on screen, or you did it
no,
before?
I did it before.
Okay.
Not in like, it wasn't like to sabotage the continuity. It was honestly, it was maybe a blank spot in my brain, but I hated my hair so much. Look at it. look at that hairdo. Like, that's not appropriate for anybody to see, let alone children. That's really bad.
I liked it, actually. I
It's
thought
so
it was
bad.
an interesting, unique
You
look.
said that, and I thought that was very nice of you.
No, I'm sincere. I don't say things that are not sincere.
I know, no, I believed
Yeah.
you. I do believe you. I think that's really nice, but I don't, what do you see?
I feel like when you're watching a TV show, you want the characters to have their own, like, a look that's really particular. It's like, I feel like if a costume design is good, you could be the character for Halloween.
Got it.
That's totally accurate. I'm with you there.
You know what I
That's a good
mean?
point.
And
Yeah.
that's like a really interesting look. Like, I don't see that. I've never seen that before,
How
right?
would someone beat me for Halloween? Do they buy one of those? What do you buy? A mop? What do you like? Do you know? But like, maybe a pea coat.
Yeah.
And then what do you do for the head? You know.
I'm not sure. I feel like that would be each person's own interpretation of their Halloween costume. You did something too. There's a moment in the episode that I really love where you cock the shotgun at Liam when he's like, "I worked with your dad," and it made me think of
right.
like what you would be like if you were a game show host.
Right.
And I was hoping I was going to ask nicely if you would do a little game show host role play with me.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So let's say we're on our game show,
Alright.
and I like buzz in and I'm like, "Buh, buh, buh, buh. My answer is 18. Is that right?
Wrong answer.
No, don't kill me. Okay. My answer is 19. Is that right?
Wrong answer.
Okay. My answer is 21. Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
That would be the scariest game show.
I need a real gun first.
I'm glad we didn't have a real gun.
I know. that'd be
I'm not brave
bad.
enough.
Yeah.
couldn't
I'm
handle
against
it.
guns. I don't like them at all.
It's hard. What was it like shooting with so many firearms on set?
Oh my god.
We have a great stunt coordinator,
Oh, good.
Stephen, who would kind of tell us before we did any stunt that we needed to do. He would like show us clear guns,
Oh, good.
and he would walk us through if we need to fall or if we need to climb even a ladder that's a certain height, that's too high for us or whatever. And he was really nice and helpful.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good. I'm glad because I feel like I want you to be safe and
Yeah.
happy for years to come.
You'd be surprised. Sometimes I feel like there are different productions where it's just like, we'll just throw them into the fire and see what happens. Like they don't really care. So it was really nice that everybody was so into like protecting and making everything safe.
I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so right now I want to go over to Angelina again because she's going to show us around the website. And we have a bunch of questions that came in from viewers on Twitter. So Angie's going to give us the website tour and then give us all of the Twitter questions. Angelina, thank you so much.
Thanks, Nicole. Between has a lot of really cool content on the interwebs for us. So today, I want to show you our brand new website. We've got cast bios, photo galleries, tons of video content, and more. We're going to be updating it every single week, so keep your eyes peeled for a few surprises. And speaking of cool content, you've been sending us some great questions this week on social media. So @MagaliBuzz1 asks, can you describe your character in 3 words? @SamuelMarchi wants to know, if you could save one person from Pretty Lake, who would it be? @Jen Brazelcom asks, who is the coolest scene to shoot? Thanks so much for all your great questions. And if you want to see your questions featured next week, be sure to share them with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or Tumblr. Back to you, Nicole.
Thanks so much. Those are really good questions. What a great fandom. Thank you for tweeting at us. And if you ever want to tweet to us any other questions anytime during the week, we will see those tweets. We will read your tweets, possibly to the cast, because that's really cool. Okay, so I want to dive into these questions. So first of all, from Samuel DeMarchi, if you could save somebody from Pretty Lake, who would it be, Jennette?
Ooh, if I could save somebody, I would save Adam. I'd have to save Adam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not the baby.
Oh, clearly not a real mom. No, I would have to save the baby. Thanks for helping.
Yeah, I saved you.
Yeah,
I saved
really
you.
appreciate you.
But who would you save?
Baby.
Zing! Oh wow, no, it's true. I mean,
We should just save the baby now.
Yeah.
but you have actually proven. Ugh.
No, I'd save why. I'd save why. Like she's attached to the baby because the thing's on her.
Oh yeah, that's always wearing the baby.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
mean, you have saved Wiley. It's not really fair to ask him because he's already saved
He's already
you.
done that once. Been there, done that.
He pulled you out of a fire, and then you took it under the fence, and then back. You know, who knows what happened right now because the tunnel has just collapsed. But I'm gonna believe that you probably made it through that avalanche. I hope.
Gotta watch.
Gotta watch.
Gotta wait and see.
Ooh, you're naughty. Okay, so next question. I love Jennette. Oh, and it's a picture of you. That's her avatar. So this is from Magali Buzz 1, and she says, please describe your character in 3 words. Jennette, what do you got?
Hi, Magali Buzz 1. My 3 words would be, dang it, I had a good one. I was gonna say stronger than she thinks, but that's 4.
I like that, though.
I can say 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
I like that. And how about you? 3 words.
I'm sorry.
Could you describe?
Smart,
Yeah.
ambitious,
Oh.
relentless.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
Ambitious and relentless are they kind of parallel, I feel like, but what are you
No,
gonna
I don't
do?
think so. Some people are ambitious and then they quit, and some people are ambitious and they just keep on going.
Yeah.
I feel like that's actually very accurate for him. Yeah.
Thank you.
I like that. That's great. It's kind of like it makes him like kind of like the Terminator, right? Like it's like he just doesn't stop.
Yeah. Well, that's how I feel a little bit. Like he really doesn't give up. There
Yeah.
are several moments like he should at least take a break, and he doesn't do that.
Yeah, you would think he would be like, okay, that's enough. I'm
No,
out. But he
he's-
just keeps on.
Keeps searching.
Yeah, whether it's researching, and he's very brave too. Right? Like he risks his life.
Yeah, he's. I think after he shot his dad, that's at least what I told myself. That
Yeah, he means it.
yeah, he means it. Thank you.
He's not messing around. That's great. All right, and our final question from Jennette Brazil. She says, which was the coolest scene to shoot?
That's me as a baby. Hi, Jennette
Oh,
Brazil.
Oh no, that is you.
Vino. The coolest thing to shoot, I can't say too much about it, but it's a bunch of the cast, which those are my favorites. Whenever we have just more people in it, I freaking love it. But then there are like helicopters and there are some stunts involved, and it felt like we were shooting Mission Impossible or something that day. It was so much fun, and yeah, definitely my favorite.
Ooh, that's great.
I think
Cool.
it's in the 4th episode, maybe?
I don't know.
Something.
One
Okay.
of the upcoming episodes.
Upcoming.
All right, I love it. How about you?
The scene that came to mind for me was actually a scene where we were with Liam. Jennette and I were with Liam, Steven, and I don't know. I think it was one of the first scenes in this first episode actually, because I think it left an impression on me because it was the first time I watched Steven act.
Okay.
I guess and do his thing. And because he's got to go through all the stuff on the computers, that's in the first episode.
That might be the second episode.
The upcoming episode.
Upcoming episode.
I
Okay,
think
we have a
the
little.
next episode.
Okay,
They're
okay.
about to do this scene.
Okay.
And yeah, he's just like he gets to, go on a roll.
Do his thing.
Yeah. It's the upcoming episode.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, that's good. That's something to stay tuned for. I'm gonna keep an eye out on that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's really interesting. I like having these little sneak peeks too, where I don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but I like to watch and be like, oh, what were they talking about? Oh, here comes that scene.
Yeah. I feel like, just to kind of dovetail on that, I feel like Liam has a lot of difficult stuff to do this season that could be, I feel like if you just had the wrong actor in that role, it could just be like, okay. But I think he heightens everything so well, and yeah, I'm excited for that scene too.
That's great. Do you feel like the actors on the show are often like their characters, or do they tend to be really different?
I think similar. I think there's like a few similarities. Like I couldn't really envision anybody else playing anybody else's character as well as the person who's assigned to their character, if that makes sense. But definitely there's a lot of differences too.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm loving talking to you.
Oh, cool.
We're going to go back in time right now, and we are going to watch something that happened on the actual set when you were shooting. It's the Onset Throwback video, and it's hosted by Jim. So let's take it away. Here we go with Jim on set.
You know a way out, right? Adam
Hell
knows a
yeah.
way out.
Yeah.
You also know you're immune. Your freedom is at the tip of your finger, right? You can just peace out. Why don't you?
I think Wiley probably ties my character to Pretty Lake.
Right.
That's probably his biggest investment in Pretty Lake.
You can't leave Wiley.
Yeah. And she has trouble leaving because of the implications with spreading the virus.
That bar is your home base. It is everything you have. It has that connection to your parents. Is that really the reason that you hold to it so dearly?
Stacy did not have a fantastic relationship with her parents. It wasn't the most loving of homes for her. She's kind of come off a little with a harder edge, so she I think, owns the bar because it's what she knows. It's where she was raised, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So she knows what she's doing. It's comfortable.
We kind of set up shop at the bar, and we kind of bond over, I guess, this accidental murder, and she's very, very good to me, and I think he starts to kind of realize that she does care for me, even if her caring for me does lead to her making some interesting choices.
Pat is back.
Pat is back.
The relationship between Pat and Ronnie now is different. How has that sort of affected the character?
The way I approach it is when Pat's around, Ronnie's very vulnerable. He's at his most honest place because it's the only person he really trusts. I mean, his sister and his brother.
So where do you think Pat comes from? Is it the drugs, kicking the drugs? Is it a side effect of the virus, or are you genuinely crazy?
I do know people personally that have lost somebody very close to them, and maybe they don't physically see that person standing right there, but I know that they've talked to them, and they have connections, or so if it's somebody you always had with you in your life, you kind of seek that person, and I think that is naturally what's happening to Ronnie because he has nobody else.
In a world where there's definitely a time limit on your life, so therefore on your love, is it really worth it a lot of the times, right? It's such a question.
This is something that I feel so passionately about, and I think so bleeds into real life. Why are we waiting anyway, like, to express our emotions and to tell people how we really feel and to, like, you know, do whatever, like, absurd gestures we might think for the sake of, like, keeping up this presentation of ourselves, like, we're cool. Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We could, one of us could die tomorrow, regardless of if you're in Pretty Lake or if you're in Toronto.
Yeah.
So, like, feel what you feel, do what you do, be who you are, say what you say, and who cares what anybody else thinks.
Today we're going to be playing one of my favorite games, the Lake Bar Cup Stack. We all know that Stacy is a pro bartender in Pretty Lake, so Samantha, do you think you're going to have an edge playing this game?
I feel like I've got a lot of practice. It should be,
You've got experience with cups, cups and cups accessories.
Cup Pro.
Okay, so the rules of this game are pretty simple. You can use one. Oh my gosh, how am I supposed to lead this game with you doing this? The rules are simple. You hold 2 cups over your eyes. No, you use one hand to stack the cups into a pyramid like this one, and then you use the other hand to take them down. And whoever does it the fastest wins. So we're going to be doing this tournament style with 2 heats and then a final championship match. So first up, round 1, we have Jennette and Jesse facing off. Great game faces. Well done, everybody. Okay. Okay, Jesse, do you think you're going to use your right hand or your left hand to start out?
I'll use my right hand.
You're going to use your right hand? And what about you, Jennette?
I'm gonna go left.
Just to mix things up?
Yeah, change
Are
it
you
up.
left-handed?
No.
Okay, sounds good.
Do we get to keep this as a model?
Oh, no, I should move this. Yeah, just put that down there. Okay, great. All right, so ready to get started?
Yes.
Are you nervous?
No.
No pressure, guys.
Yeah, no pressure, no pressure. But there are high stakes. It's kind of a big deal. There's a really good prize, so I don't know. Okay, on your marks, get set, go. Okay, so there's a method here. They're using all the cups to stack them sort of as a tool. Oh, Jesse's kind of got the lead on you right here. Is this like a slow and steady thing? This is not how I would have approached it at all, but I think you might be onto something.
Yeah, I'm taking notes.
I know, right? I'm like, how are they doing this? Okay,
Like
Jesse's
the
still in
motivational
lead.
music in the background here.
Jennette, you gotta catch up.
Oh gosh! No.
I'll get it. Keep trying, you can take this.
Sorry.
Okay, Jesse's in the lead. Oh, okay.
No.
It was really
close.
Yeah, really close call. But I think that this round's winner is definitely Jesse.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You really earned it. So
Thank
I'm
you.
just gonna take this down for you. So the next round will be
Oh my goodness.
Samantha versus myself.
Okay.
Those are pretty, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I
I
looked
know.
at you directly. It was
Made eye
looking at
contact.
the
Never
sun.
make eye contact with the game face.
I know, it was terrifying. Okay, Jennette, do you think you can commentate?
Jesse, take it away.
Sure.
Okay, all right. Okay, so
Right.
left, right?
Left.
Okay, we'll do
do
left.
it.
Is left your dominant hand?
No.
Me neither.
Keeping it spicy.
Okay.
Okay.
Count us down.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
What? How are you?
Looks even.
How are you doing this so fast?
I don't know.
Is this because you played a bartender?
It's a gift.
Samantha has the lead. Now it's a tie. Now it's a matter
No!
of getting
No!
the Samantha wins.
I'm slightly embarrassed that I do this fast. I don't know why this is my only hidden talent.
I'm sure it's not your only hidden talent, but
don't
it certainly came in handy
It
today.
did, it
I
did.
think that's worth saying. Okay, so this round's winner is definitely Samantha. Well done, well done.
Okay.
I concede defeat. Okay, so that means that the next round will be you two. So I'm gonna switch spots with you, Jennette.
All right.
We'll just do a little cycle here. Okay, so round 3. Do you think you guys are gonna go for a different strategy here?
I think that one worked for me.
Yeah, what about you, Jesse?
I'm going to go with that same strategy.
Same strategy? I mean, you both
Yeah.
won your round, so obviously they're pretty okay. All right, so round 3, Samantha versus Jesse. Let's see your game faces, guys.
Okay.
Oh, those are terrifying. I'm so frightened. All right,
Very
okay.
serious.
All right, this is a very serious game, so buckle down. On your marks, get set.
Through your fingers.
Through your fingers, and go.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
No.
There's a method to this madness, I think. I can't tell who's in the lead because you're taking very different approaches here. Oh gosh. Oh, Jesse's ahead of you.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh
no! Wrong hand.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah, you technically cheated for a second
I
there.
cheated, and he won.
But Jesse is the winner, so congratulations, Jesse. You really earned it today. We all admit defeat. It's very sad. Oh yeah,
Yes.
definitely a clapping moment.
done.
And we have a wonderful prize for you. This is your crown of glory. Oh, it's gorgeous. You look like a cup of corn.
Clever.
Well, thank you guys so much for playing with me today. This was very enlightening, and I'm kind of a little intimidated by your cup stacking skills now. So let's take a look at some more on-set shenanigans with our on-set correspondent, Jim Watson, in Between Us.
Between Us, there's a rumor going around set that before each scene, you like to rub Jesse's head for good luck. Is this true?
That's true. It's like my only source of good luck, and it's the only thing that yields good takes on my end.
It works. I'd like to. Do you mind if I try it? It's beautiful.
Between Us, the relationship with the character of Ronnie. Yeah, all the girls would love to be in your shoes.
Oh, trust me, I've been getting
I bet.
I've been getting calls.
Yeah, I bet.
My agent is like, do you know who you're working with? Girl, a lot of girls love him.
Oh,
I was
they
like,
love Kyle.
oh, okay.
I was super excited to work with Mercedes because the true story is about it. In last summer, I went to a random fringe show called Summerland.
Right.
And I saw the show, and there was this girl in the show that I was like, that girl was amazing, like incredible voice, like stole the entire show. I came out and I just ran into my agent. I was like, who is that girl? She's unbelievable. And then he ended up trying to phone and represent her. So I thought it was incredible. And then I found out that she got cast in this part, and I was like, amazing. She's talented, and it's like I'm enjoying our scenes. Very good.
He's enjoying their scenes together.
Wow, thanks, Jim. Now I'm here with Samantha, who plays Stacy. And you were just saying to me that you didn't know about that.
I didn't know that he had seen her from before, and she is incredible. She's like an amazing singer. She just kind of sings around on set. I'm like, oh, don't stop.
Please keep singing.
She's so good.
Yeah, no, she definitely has a really fun vibe, so it's interesting to know that she's still singing on the set too. So now, just going back to our amazing cup game that we just had,
Yes.
you had some really good strategies.
I
I'm
had
so
a good
sorry.
strategy, and I'm very upset that I lost. I'm trying to be a good sport about it, and it goes against every natural instinct that I have.
I can tell. I get that vibe about
Yeah.
you. She was crying. The
Well, that-
cameras were off. She was just like weeping. And
Yeah, it was a sad green room.
So in this week's episode, Stacey had a huge dilemma when she witnessed the fight between Mark and the mystery boy. So at this point, like, what do you think Stacey's thinking?
At this point, I mean, there was a betrayal at the end of season 1. So I feel like, I feel that she feels like maybe she might have the leg up. She might have a bargaining chip, but she actually does care about Mark. So I think that's probably the dilemma, like the doing what she thinks she should be doing or following her heart. So
yeah, and I totally, like, when I'm watching the show, I'm like Stacey, do you actually have feelings for this guy? Because it totally
do you have feelings at all?
No, I mean, I think she
really
has feelings, but it just I think that she's very calculated. That's the impression I get, and that she needs to feel like that she's in control of situations.
Yeah, and that's, I think, another reason why she reacted so severely to losing her bar, because that was the one place that she had.
It's her bar.
Yeah.
It would be like if she lost a cup game. Like,
yeah,
that would just
well, that's what I used when, the tearing.
Oh, poor Sam.
Bringing up the memories,
yeah.
that's fine.
So let's talk about this week's Twitter poll. The question is, with the situation becoming dire in season 2, who would you team up with to survive? Wiley, Ronnie, Gord, or Chuck? So, Sam, who would you want Stacey to team up with? There is a wrong answer.
Okay, there is a wrong answer.
There's a wrong answer, but
I would pick Ronnie.
You would pick Ronnie?
He's a scavenger. He's gonna do whatever it takes to survive. I know you have this affliction for not enjoying his character, but you gotta think, like, he has survived and he has gone through the ringer and back. I feel like he's going to live. Like, he's like a cockroach. You can't kill him. So
You're right about him being like a cockroach.
No, I think he's misunderstood too. Okay. And I think I'd pick Ronnie. Why? Who would you pick?
I would pick Gord hands down. No question.
Oh, I mean, he has the farm and he's got the one cow.
He's not a great fighter from what we've seen. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But he's like reliable. He's got the cow.
Yeah, but he's gonna give away all your food.
Oh, he's a giver.
You've gotta survive. I know.
Giver.
Maybe you just have a crush on him and you're not thinking about the survival of this.
Like the way he takes care of Franny, and I
know it's
love
adorable.
them.
He's great. You didn't ask me which one I'd marry. You
okay,
asked me which one I'd pick
all right,
to survive with.
Who would you go with? Not Stacey, but like who would you go with?
I'd pick Mark.
You'd pick Mark.
Oh, am I allowed to say that? I don't think I'm allowed to swear.
Yeah.
He's a badass. I think he's kind of like a perfect mix of everybody, and I really like his character.
Yeah,
I mean, look at him.
Oh, look at his face. It's the eyes. It's the eyes. They're piercing.
The first time I met him, I did a triple take, like a. Are you for real? Are those
your
contacts?
face?
Is that your real face?
Is that your real face?
Yeah, his eyes are very real. For everyone watching at home, they're not
exclusive content here, you guys. His eyes are real. No, but like he has that total like, oh, I'm a bad boy, but you could fix me.
But you could fix me. You could love me into what fixing? What's the word I'm looking for? You could love me into
just not being Ronnie.
Not being.
You can. Ronnie was your ex project, and now Mark is your new project.
My new project. Oh.
But I mean, your character is great, so maybe you'll have a good effect on these boys.
We'll see. Stacey's not a very good influence.
Oh gosh. Well, let's see who the fans chose. Okay, so over half of the votes went to Wiley. Interesting. Oh gosh. And you know what? The two of them too, I think, would make a good team up.
Yeah?
They're both like very, very strong-willed.
Yeah.
But maybe that would be maybe they clash, I don't know.
You never know. I feel like personally I have the will to survive, so somebody can come along for the ride if they want. I'll make it.
Absolutely. Okay, so we have an Inside Between exclusive sneak peek of episode 2 featuring you and Jack Murray, who plays Mark. So can you tell us a little bit about the clip we're gonna watch? Set us up.
I've seen the clip. It's very exciting. Here, let's watch it, and I'll tell you about kind of what
you're gonna tell us after.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Did you get it all?
Yeah. Truck's clean.
Yeah, but you have to get all of it.
I did. Relax. Nobody can trace anything to me.
No, well, you don't know Ronnie.
Why are you here? What do you care? Whatever you want, I can't give you.
You're an asshole. You know that, right?
So I've been told.
Oh my gosh,
I
you
know.
said a swear.
I swore. I like that clip because it kind of shows the two conflicting personalities and just them
Yeah.
bashing heads, and it's really unfortunate that the clip cut off right there.
Oh,
And
why?
that's
What
all
happened?
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all you can say?
I'm not saying anymore. Yeah.
Okay, well,
Keep watching.
We'll have to anticipate that. But just, gosh, I love how strong your personalities are together, and
Yeah.
then the clash of it. Oh, it's really good. All right,
Okay.
so yeah, no, like, and the other thing that I love about like Mark's character is that we really don't know that much about him yet.
No, I think while we were filming, I'm like, why were you in jail again? And he's like, oh, I was in jail because of this, and that. Oh,
So he knows?
Oh, I think he knows.
I feel
think
that
we made
watching,
character decisions
too.
too, like of why he was in jail. I found out why, but I can't remember if that's been revealed yet or not.
I don't think so, because I remember watching it and being like, we actually don't know that much about
Why
him.
he was- yeah.
He's one of the few characters that like we don't know your family, like we don't know anything about how you grew up or anything. So it's kind of he's a total mystery
I think
bag.
his character's fascinating. It's got a lot of potential. So
Absolutely. I can't wait to see how this plays out. So thank you so much to Jennette, Jesse, and Samantha for being here, and thanks to you guys for joining us on tonight's episode of Inside Between. Sam, do you have anything you'd like to say to the fans before we say goodbye?
guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm looking here. Thank you for watching. Please continue to watch, and I love hearing how you felt about the show and how you felt about my character. Please connect with me on Twitter.
Yeah, go follow her and tweet at her and tell her how much you like her as a blonde. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde thing. Okay, awesome. Thanks again. And don't forget, we've got a brand new episode of Between next week at 8 Eastern and Pacific on City, followed by another installment of Inside Between at 9 p.m. right here. And in the meantime, you can still watch all the episodes, including our webisodes, on citytv.com/between right now. So join us same time, same place next week for more Inside Between. Bye!
Bye!